Hi, my name's Anastasia, and I'm a customer success manager here at QuoteIQ. Today, we're going to be walking through one of our customer success stories. I had the pleasure of talking to Brock over at Two Guys No Truck and learn a little bit more about their business and how they're using QuoteIQ. So they're a four-person moving labor crew, and they franchise nationally as well. They're from my hometown of Denver, Colorado. But they also have a franchise out in Knoxville, Tennessee. Now, before Brock moved over to QuoteIQ, they were using Square and Google Calendar. Not a great way to scale their franchise. They were having issues really systemizing. As you can imagine, it's really hard to live out of two separate softwares and systems, especially for their crew. So moving over to QuoteIQ and having everything in one place was really a game changer for them. Now, estimates, they really like using our estimates. They do 30 to 50 estimates every week. So as you can imagine, that is a lot of manual work that they used to be doing. I'm trying to get these in, get them to the customer quickly and convert them to jobs at the end of the day. Now they can do it in just a few minutes, especially using the estimate templates. They're able to get these out to the customers quickly, build them on site with the customer, and send them over and have it accepted within just a few minutes. Now, InstaQuote has been huge for them. InstaQuote is such a great feature as it is, but the way that their customers use it is awesome. Brock told me this story where he woke up in the morning and saw somebody had made an InstaQuote at 2 a.m. They accepted the InstaQuote, and then they also went on and self-scheduled. Before he woke up, he already had a job booked and ready to go. This is such a great, testimonial to how InstaQuote works. All of the processes it does in the background while you sleep. You don't have to really do anything. It automatically runs. You set it up yourself and put the parameters on it that you need. And then the customer can go through and do it all on their own. It saves a phone call, it saves back and forth, and they're able to get the services that they need on the calendar when they need it. And then you're able to have a customer. Now, going back to using Square and Google Calendar, as you can imagine, it's really tough to live out of two separate systems. They were using Google Calendar to make sure their whole crew knew where to go and when to go. But then in Square is where all their services, the invoices, the estimates, that's where those things live. Having one central place for the crew to go and open up the calendar to see where they're supposed to be at for the day, what services are being performed, and how long those services should take is huge for them. Being able to do it right off your phone, having it all in one system, just makes a lot of sense. There's nothing slipping through the cracks. They're able to really quickly see, what's expected of them. They're notified when they're assigned to a job, and it really takes away that back and forth with his employees. So everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing. Everybody knows how to do it. And then everybody is just on the same page at the end of the day. Now, automations are another really big part of Brock's business. So before, like I was talking about things slipping through the cracks, Brock would make a estimate and then there would be no follow-up, or it would be a manual follow-up of sending an email or sending a text message saying, hey, did you see that estimate? And really trying to keep track of all of these things manually. With our automated setups, that really takes away all of that. He can set up a automation for invoices if somebody hasn't paid, send it out 2 days after it's sent and send it out a week after it's sent, send it out 2 weeks after it's sent. That way it stays on top of them. As you can imagine, doing 40 to 50 moves in a month, that is a lot of manual work to be done. And things can definitely slip through the cracks. You can get behind on those unpaid invoices. You can get behind on even the estimates that were sent out but not followed up on. That way, you can really go in and make sure that everybody's being taken care of. Everybody feels heard and everybody feels cared about. All of your customers will be able to be contacted right in the background. Super automated process on that end. It takes away all that manual work of handwriting these messages every single time. You're keeping, paper lists when somebody needs to be followed up with, and just really making sure everything is flowing smoothly on the back end. One thing that Brock told me is everything is just running by itself in the back end. They do very little to no admin work on their side because they're able to have QuoteIQ just run in the background through the automations, through InstaQuote, and then through having that calendar set up. Being able to have the automations running in the background is huge. They don't have to do any manual follow-up. They're not going at the end of the week and going through, all of their unpaid invoices, any estimates that haven't been accepted yet. The system does all of that on its own with the automations he has set up. And as far as the calendar, He doesn't have to continually remind his employees where they're going to be or what services will be performed. He's able to have the trust in a system that they'll be notified once they're added to a job, and the job has everything that the employee will be performing. So having that and having a central place that his employees can go and look and see what they're doing for the day, the address, they can send an on the way text, letting the customer know that they're on the way, having those appointment reminders being sent out to the customers so customers know and are reminded that they have booked a service. It's just huge for them, and it really keeps everything running smoothly and systemizes his entire business. And then InstaQuote, of course, InstaQuote is amazing. You're able to book jobs while you're sleeping. And, Brock is a, huge poster child, and his business is a huge poster child for that. They're able to book these jobs, have them accepted, have them scheduled by doing nothing on their end. They just set up the InstaQuote, the Insta schedule, and the customer is able to go in and do everything on the back end by themselves without talking to somebody at all. And it worked perfectly. It had everything that the customer needed. And then the automations flow in the background for that. So they're getting automated messages about their estimate being accepted, about reminders about when the service will be performed. And of course, they can always reach out to Brock if there's anything else or, anything that comes up, but the automations make it so Brock isn't manually reaching out to every single customer to remind them of things and to confirm that their estimate was accepted or confirm that a job was booked. The automations do all of that on the back end for him. I had the pleasure of working with Brock since he came to QuoteIQ, since he was on trial with us. And helping him really switch everything over from Google Calendar and Square into the QuoteIQ environment. Now, this was a super smooth and easy process for us. All I had to do was really show Brock how the system works, how it behaves. Easily, he was able to translate everything that he was doing over in Square and in Google Calendar over to our environment. He did say it took him about a month to get over that learning curve, of course, being in two different systems and going to one central system with all of the bells and whistles that we have. Learning where all the buttons were, learning how to set up the InstaQuote. It took him about a month, he said, to really feel like comfortable in there and have everything running smoothly on the back end, and him actually being able to kind of sit back and relax and say, QuoteIQ is running the show here. I just have to press a few buttons to make it work. But now, it's awesome. He's booking jobs at 2 a.m. His crew is able to see where they're going and what they're supposed to be doing. And it's really running itself. And he really was appreciative of that. I really enjoyed working with Brock. I really continue to enjoy working with him. This is one of the best parts of my job, is being able to help a person go from a trial and these manual processes to actually setting up something that saves them time, saves them money, and then brings in more money because they're able to book more jobs and they're able to do things quickly and they're able to follow up more often automatically in the background. Being able to have these automations run and the InstaQuote going in the back, it just makes more time for him to do things that will keep the business running, be able to franchise more, and keep his employees and his customers happy at the end of the day. So we are very grateful for Brock. We love all of the things that he's doing with the system. I'm so happy that it's working so well for him. I'm still his customer success manager. As a customer success manager on Pro, Elite, or Max plans, I'm with you from the time that you are on trial with us, all the way through your life cycle with us. So as your business grows and scales, I'll be here to help you along the way, making sure that it's working for your business and making sure that you have everything set up that you need so your employees and your customers are happy at the end of the day, and taking a lot of that manual work off of your plate. Well, thank you guys for going through the customer success story with me. We wish Brock and Two Guys No Truck nothing but the best, and we're excited to continue working with them and to have them a part of the QuoteIQ family.